What's going on, you lot? How are you all doing? Right, so it's the middle of December and Christmas is just around the corner. And as filmmakers, as videographers, we're all thinking, I could get some naughty bits of gear on my Christmas list, mate. So I thought I'd just sit down and take you lot through what is on my ideal Christmas list for 2017. Now hold on, hold your horses a sec, people. As much as I'd like to play this naughty beat all the way throughout this video, YouTube will give me copyright. I know, mate. The bane of my life. So let's get on some Christmas techno. Oh, yes, mate. Love it. I was going to wear a Santa's hat, but I couldn't find one, so I thought I'd get my man in just to kind of chill in the background with the boys. So, yeah, just to give it that kind of festive spirit and that. So, yeah, mate. Big up Santa. Right, so on this year's Christmas list, I think I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I think you lot are going to be expecting me to go in with the Red Epic Ws, the 8K Heliums, the Zeiss Cine Prime lenses, the big Movi Pros. Nah, I ain't. Because let's be honest, people, we need to be a bit realistic now, don't we? Solo shooters like myself, I'm not too bothered about having the biggest and the best and the most expensive gear out there. I just want gear that's going to allow me to be as creative as possible and fulfill my maximum potential in what I do. So let's get cracking. First on my ideal Christmas list, I'm going to be talking about the drones, right? Them big flying camera things you see about every now and then. And there is one drone that absolutely sticks out to me that I bloody want, mate. I'm not kidding, this thing is naughty. The drone that is on my Christmas list is the DJI Inspire 2 with the Zenmuse X7 camera. Oh my days, mate. The Zenmuse X7 camera is just a joke. It's got a super 35mm sensor, records 6K RAW, and it's got 14 stops of dynamic range. And I tell you what, mate, the images that come out of this drone are just a joke, mate. The dynamic range and the latitude is just, oh, geez. It's just so peng. Them landscapes look so bloody nice. Like, it just takes you into another world, mate. Like, so much better than the Mavic. Like, I love my Mavic to bits. I absolutely love it. The portability of it, the price of it, everything's perfect. But, mate, the image quality that comes out of that Zenmuse X7 camera is just a joke, mate. Mate, we need one, mate, right? Only issue is, people, we're looking at about 11 grand for the drone and the bloody camera. And then you got to get the bloody lenses that go with the Zenmuse X7 that DJI have conveniently made their own mount for. So there are only their lenses can go on it. Great. Cheers, DJI. That's really nice of you, that. So being at 11 grand, it ain't very typical for most of us to go and grab this drone, just whack it in the stocking, mate. I'm thinking, let's chuck in a little one that's a bit more affordable and a bit more realistic. Now for me, I use the DJI Phantom 4 Pro out in Mauritius earlier this year. My days, mate, the image quality that comes out of that drone is amazing. Obviously, it's nowhere near as good as the Zenmuse X7 on the Inspire 2, but the image quality, for the amount of money it costs, about 1,500 quid, the image quality is unbelievable, mate. It's got the same sensor that you've got in the RX100 series, which is a gorgeous little camera. So if you can't fork out the 11K for the Inspire 2 Zenmuse X7 camera, go for the Phantom 4 Pro. Unbelievable little bird, mate. Unbelievable. So next up on my ideal Christmas list, I just looked up there because I'm looking at the microphone, is because I want a new microphone. And that new microphone that I want on my Christmas list is the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. So the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus isn't that much better than the Rode VideoMic Pro that I've already got, but there is one feature on it that will just save my ass from wanting to shoot myself every other day. When you turn on your camera, the microphone automatically turns itself on. Now, what's so good about that, James? Well, I'll tell you. So every time I'm recording a YouTube video like this one, yeah, I've got my A7S sitting there, I've got my Rode VideoMic Pro on the top, and I can't tell if it's turned on or not, because sometimes I just have to turn it on, turn the camera on, and start talking to the camera like an idiot in front of loads of people in the street, but that's calm. So half the time you can't even tell if your microphone's on because you do it so quick. I guess that's kind of my fault. It's not the microphone's fault. Yeah. But anyway, every time I turn the camera on, the microphone will already be turned on, because half the time I turn on the camera, start recording, and my microphone ain't on. Therefore, I've got a load of footage with absolutely no audio. What a nightmare. So therefore, I think if I can get myself the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, unbelievable, mate. Camera's on, I'm recording audio, great news. Only thing is, it is a couple of quid, mate. The Rode VideoMic Pro was like 160 quid, but then when you're looking at the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, you're looking at like 250 quid. What's that about? So next up on my ideal Christmas list is a new bag. Yes, a new bag. So a lot of you already know, because I do loads of videos on it, I absolutely love my f-stop Talopa bag. I've destroyed the thing in loads of different countries. I've been dragging it along the floor on the back of my motorbike. So, I'm just going to assess any damage. Oh no. It's just been through everything, and it's looking a bit rugged now, mate. Like, don't get me wrong, I reckon I'm going to keep that thing for about 10 or 15 years. It don't seem to want to die. I do love it. It is literally probably the best investment I've ever made in terms of camera equipment, gear, bags, things like that. My f-stop Talopa, without a doubt, #1 thing I've ever invested in. Right, we're going to get ponchos, because I need one to go over the top of my bag. So I'm going to get one for my bag and then one for me. Watch out, you're about to get absolutely destroyed. I do want something a little bit smaller and something that actually looks pretty fresh. My Talopa don't look fresh, mate. It looks like it's come out of World War II. I want a new bag that is a little bit fresh, a little bit naughty. You see someone wearing it and you're like, oh yes, mate. Do you know what I mean, yeah? So the bag that I want to get is the f-stop Lotus. It's basically exactly the same as the Talopa that I've got. It's just 18 litres smaller, but I do want it in black. My Talopa's in dab green, lovely colour, but I do want the black for the Lotus. It just looks clean, it just looks standard, it'll go with any kind of outfit, happy days. Honestly, I love the f-stop bag setup. You just chuck it on the floor, whip open the back, anywhere you are, it's completely waterproof. Half of the places I go with that bag, if I didn't have it, mate, I wouldn't be able to get half of the shots that I get. Honestly, it looks after my gear so well, it's so easy to travel with, it's so comfortable. Love it, mate, love it. Next up on man's Christmas list is lights. So I want my 2018 to be absolutely lit, mate, yeah? Lit. Therefore, I need to get some new lights. If you haven't watched my last vlog where my lights have literally just blown up, then you should probably check that out. Because I've had enough of buying cheap, shitty lights. I just need some legitimate lights that are going to last me at least 5 to 10 years now. So the lights that are on my ideal Christmas list this year are the Aperture 120Ds. Now, don't get me wrong, they are a bit pricey, coming in at about 500 quid a pop. If I was to get these, I'd probably have to get 3 of them, because yeah, I do want to have that kind of 3 lights set up where I can have my key light on one side, I can have a fill on the other, and then I can have a backlight at the back. So yeah, the Aperture range, they are a bit pricey, but end of the day, they're great quality. They should last you a very, very long time. They don't get too hot. One of the things that does my nutting about tungsten bulbs, they just get a bit hot, mate. Your actors are gonna get a bit sweaty. It's not ideal. You wanna make them feel as comfortable as possible when you wang a massive bright light in their face. I wanna keep them nice and cool. So that's another good thing about the Aperture lights. And in addition to the Aperture lights, I'm probably going to grab like some LED panels. So the panels that I've been looking at, dead cheap. I just thought I'd wang these on the list just for the crack, are the newer 480D LED light panels. They're bi-colour, so you can change the colour. They go from white light to yellow light. Don't know why it don't have the exact Kelvin temperature on it, but yeah, you can have white or yellow light. Fair dues. I'd probably just end up using these for like on-the-go type stuff, or any backlights for the back, or any little accent lights around the set. So yeah, you'll probably see those straight in my basket. Gimbals. Let's talk gimbals. Now, is there a gimbal that's on my Christmas list this year? Absolutely not. I've already got the Xeon Crane 2. Yes, you can probably get the Freefly Movi Pro, but look at the cost, look at the size of it. And by the time I've actually set that thing up on set, how much shooting time am I actually going to have? I'd rather have a slightly lower level product like the Crane 2, which in handheld gimbals is like the king of the fucking hill, mate, than take an hour to set up my big Movi Pro to shoot for about half an hour. So yeah, look, there ain't no gimbal on my Christmas list this year. I've got the Xeon Crane 2, I absolutely love it, and I do not see myself upgrading from that bad boy for quite a few years. Lenses, let's have a little talk about lenses. Now, I've got a bit of a bad relationship with lenses. Like, the reason I go for quite cheap lenses is because, mate, I just don't look after them. When I go traveling and things like that, when I'm on a trip, I literally can't be asked to be cleaning them every 10 minutes because you get dust on them and all this. I just can't be bothered with the maintenance of the lenses. I end up dropping them, they end up just getting thrown in my bag and things like that. So what's the point in me spending 2K, 4K on bloody lenses? They're not gonna last, are they? So therefore, I just stick to relatively cheap glass, but I definitely do want a 35mm. I've been looking at a couple of the images from 35mm, and there is one that I definitely do want. Coming in at about 550 quid, and that is the Sigma Art Series 35mm 1.4. The reason I want a 35mm is I want that kind of in the middle focal length lens that is definitely still sick in low light. So yeah, that'll be straight on my list. So people, we've come on to the very last subject, the one that everyone wants to hear. Do I want to, and am I gonna upgrade my camera? Oh, let's think. We got the new GH5. We've got the red cameras, maybe the Epic W8K. Oh, nice. 16 stops of dynamic range. Oh, Arri Alexa. Maybe the Canon C series. Maybe the Canon 1DX Mark II. Now people, let's just get grounded a sec, yeah? The honest answer is no. I ain't going to be upgrading my camera for a while. And why am I not going to be upgrading my camera for a while? I don't feel like I've reached my maximum potential with the Sony a7S yet. I still think I can get a lot better with this camera. I definitely haven't used it to its full potential yet. My work is definitely not being limited by the camera that I'm using yet. So I reckon give it maybe 1, maybe 2 years of me using this camera a bit more to really get to that point where the camera is limiting my work. But at the moment, I don't feel like I'm better than the camera. So when the time comes that maybe the camera is holding my work back, that's when I'll upgrade. Although, Sony have just released their A7R Mark III. Now, would I upgrade to that compared to the A7S II? No. If they come out with an A7S Mark III, would I upgrade to that? Possibly. Depending on what new functions they've got, if they've got maybe higher frame rates, if they don't have crop in on certain modes, if the camera can stretch up to 10-bit, I probably would. But overall, people, there ain't a new camera on my ideal Christmas list this year. I really like shooting with small, compact cameras. I'd rather have an absolute potato in my hand and get the shot because I could set up quickly and get there than have an absolute Arri Alexa on my shoulder and by the time I've set up, I've missed the shot. Yeah, cameras don't really gas me too much. I'm not really too bothered. Sorry to disappoint you at the end there with the cameras. End of the day, it's only gear. It ain't gonna make you a better filmmaker. If you can film on a potato and make a great story, unbelievable. If the people with the best equipment made the best films, quite simple. The ones who are the most rich would make the best films, yeah? So no, focus on storytelling, focus on being creative with the gear that you've got, and just create awesome stuff. Oh yes, I almost forgot to tell you. Now, if there was a stocking filler that I could recommend to someone, what would it be? It's only the bloody Search and Create hoodies, mate. The Search and Create hoodies are in. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go and check them out, because it is a bit chilly outside nowadays, so it'll probably do you good to get a hoodie if I'm honest. Anyway, people, I hope you have an incredible Christmas and a wicked 2018. Why am I ending off as if this is the last video I'm going to do for this year? Absolutely not, people. I'll see you in a couple of days. Make sure you get your Christmas list down for Oh, Santa, you alright, mate? Had a bit of a fall. Make sure you get your filmmaking Christmas list down for this geezer here, because you never know, mate. He might just turn up at your gaff. Anyway, people, have an incredible Christmas, and I will see you very, very soon. Peace.